Hey y'all, it's Karen Becker. I am sharing with you in this new video 4 tools that will change co-parenting for you. I will not tell you that they are easy tools, but they are a simple set of 4 tools that I can tell you will absolutely change the co-parenting landscape for you. Let's jump in and get started. Let's start with some statistics. 10% of divorced couples are considered high conflict divorced. Of those, 1% of them will remain high conflict for as long as they need to co-parent. The average number of years it takes to get over a divorce, and I say that somewhat sarcastically, but to really move on emotionally after a divorce is now at 2 years. I have seen everything from 18 months up to 4 years. Please know that those are averages. Every person is going to handle their divorce a little bit differently, but the average is right now being considered 2 years. Let's go ahead and introduce the video. There are 4 key areas for you to start focusing on. In each of those 4 areas, we're going to focus on you and what you can change. Now, in all of my live classes, in everybody that I have talked to one-on-one, it has always started with, I'm not the one who needs the changing. But I can tell you after working with hundreds of couples, what I'm about to teach you is what works. You may not be the one that needs the changing, but I can promise you that when you put these steps in place, it will end up changing you, and that will change how you're viewing co-parenting, and it will make it just a little bit more manageable for you. Let's jump in. Step 1 in this is to really accept where you are right now today. Think about where you are. Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have food to eat? Do you have some placement with your children? Do you have friends? Do you have family? Do you have a job? Do you have clothes to wear? Not all of you are going to be able to say yes to those questions, but all of you are going to be able to say yes to some of those questions. At this moment, take a minute to be thankful for what it is you do have. And think about everything that there is. Where are you today outside of those? Then start thinking about what struggles do you face. Financial struggles are common in divorce. I remember in mine, financially, that was one of the hardest things. Emotional struggles. For some of you, you were married for decades, and this is not just the start of a new chapter, this is the start of a completely new life. What about physically? Are there any struggles that you're facing in that way? The reason that we're taking a look at those struggles is because in our next few steps, we're going to talk about overcoming them. Next, what are you looking forward to in your new life? Divorce is not something that any of us want, but it is something that we are all put into. And with that does come a new chapter. It does come a new life. So think about what it is that you are really looking forward to, and focus on accepting where you are now while also looking forward. I accept where I am right now. Now that you've accepted exactly where you are, the good, the bad, the indifferent, our next step is to forgive. Before you stop the video, before you get angry, let me explain what I mean when I say forgive. I want you to know that this is the only way that you are truly going to be able to move on. But it does not mean that what your ex did, what your ex continues to do, it does not mean that any of that is acceptable. Think about, though, why you're holding on to it. And know that forgiveness is a choice that only you can make. And it really goes back to, why are you holding on to what it is your ex has done? When you forgive your co-parent, when you forgive yourself, when you decide to let go of the pain, of the hurt, of anything that happened, that is when you truly move on. So say with me, I forgive and let go of the pain in my past. Assuming that you have forgiven, but even if you haven't, we're going to go back to step 1 and talk about those gaps. So what was missing for you? Was it a job? Was it a house? Was it something else that you and your children need? Think about which of those are your priorities. Once you've decided that, make a plan to close those gaps. If, for instance, you had a gap financially just as I did, think about a plan that's going to overcome that. I was in a job and I also got left with a lot of the debt in our marriage because I was the only one working in it. That meant when I was making a plan, that plan included paying that debt off. So that meant that my children and I lived minimally for a couple of years until it was paid off. It was a specific goal each month based on a budget. It was measurable because it was monetary. It was attainable because it still allowed us to have a life. We still made memories. We still got to do things. We always had food to eat, clothes to wear, a roof over our heads. We just didn't always have the best of those. It was relevant because I got to teach my children what a budget looks like, what they really need versus what they really want, and it was time-based. I had a goal of having everything paid off within 2 years, and did I achieve that? Absolutely. Was it easy? Absolutely not. But think about your gaps. Think about what you need to do to move yourself forward in a need versus in the wants. The wants are the fun part. Those are the things that are almost easier to go after because those are the things you're looking forward to. So in this step, say with me, I'm excited to focus on me and achieving my goals and my dreams. All right, guys, we've focused on you. We're going to continue to focus on you, but this is the part that is the hardest in co-parenting, and that is simply called communicate. When you communicate, be who you want your co-parent to be. If you have a co-parent who is constantly hurling insults and accusations at you, you do not need to be that co-parent. Ignore what doesn't matter in the communication that comes from your co-parent. If they are the type that's hurling insults and accusations, those do not require any communication back from you unless it's an accusation based on what your children are saying to your co-parent. In that case, a simple factual explanation is all that's needed. Focus on the facts at all times. As soon as emotions are brought into it, that's what creates this angry cycle that I talk about in the co-parenting after divorce course. If you keep all communication based on facts, it keeps the emotion out of it. Be willing to compromise. Co-parenting is not your way or the highway. It is not your co-parent's way or the highway. Being able to compromise, being flexible, is one of the keys to successful, positive co-parenting. At times, it may feel like you are the only one who is willing to compromise, but in the grand scheme of things, when you look back after years of co-parenting and your children are grown, are you going to be sorry about the compromises you made for the sake of your children? Are you going to keep a tally of who compromised more or who compromised less? Most importantly, will your kids, and will it matter? And again, I cannot stress enough to keep emotion out of the communication. So say with me in this final step, I'm focused on being a positive example for communication between my co-parent and I. I know when we talked about these steps, it was short, it was to the point, but those are it. Those are the secrets. If you want to jump into this a little bit more, there are 3 different ways that you can go. One is the Positive Co-Parenting When Your Ex Won't book. It is an ebook that is delivered immediately that you can purchase on this site. You can purchase it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the iTunes bookstore, all of those. But if you purchase it off of my website, KarenBeckerLifeCoach.com, you'll get 40% off using the coupon code 4TOOLS. Next is the communication toolkit. If you are struggling with communication with your children regarding the divorce, There are so many really great videos and worksheets at an incredibly reasonable price for you to download immediately. Again, the 40% off will apply. And then finally, the Co-Parenting After Divorce e-course. It's available out on Curious.com and is available on my website. Again, if you purchase it off my website, you'll get that 40% off just for watching this. This is a comprehensive co-parenting course. It is 10 lessons, 10 worksheets, and you will get videos from me on each of those lessons along with the worksheets for each of them. Once you download that, if you want or need a certificate, all you need is to email me. This is something that's done in the privacy of your own home. It's done at your pace and will include so many different co-parenting issues that people have run into. I have run this course for years and I've had positive feedback on it. And what comes with the course is you're able to email me if you have questions, comments, or concerns. Again, it's KarenBeckerLifeCoach.com. You will get 40% off of any of the items that are available there by using the coupon code 4TOOLS. Hopefully what that will be able to do is it will create a more comprehensive look at each of those 4 tools that you can put in place to change the co-parenting landscape for you. I know that I just threw a lot at you. Here's what I want to end with. There is hope. That hope starts right now, today. If you take the time to stop focusing on your co-parent, to start focusing on you, to stop worrying about what they did, what they didn't do, what they said, what they didn't say, and start focusing on you, and especially focusing on you and your children, things will change for you. Once you start focusing on you, you'll realize how much you deserve that, and you'll see how big of a difference that makes. Don't forget to head to KarenBeckerLifeCoach.com and check out those courses, check out the book. You get that 40% discount. It is 4TOOLS, the number 4, TOOLS, at KarenBeckerLifeCoach.com. Good luck.